my journal. I'm Stephanie Rivers. Come on into the conversation. Of course, I will start coughing, and my water's over there. I am multicasting on several platforms, so you might be watching on Facebook or LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, multicasting on a lot of platforms. On whatever platform you're watching, we want to welcome you to the conversation. And I'm wearing this because it's cold everywhere I go, okay? In Dallas it's cold, in Phoenix it's cold, in Philly it's cold, in Atlanta it's cold. So I don't know whether I'm coming or going to the hot or the cold or the east or the west. So this is what I got on today. But welcome to this quick conversation. Now, if you are subscribing, we want to thank you for being a subscriber. And if you are not, be sure to start subscribing in 2024. Show me some love. So here's what we're talking about today. I don't know if you heard about it, but lots of people are talking about the apparent beef between YouTuber Funky Dineva, Fox Soul, and the cast of the show Tea-GIF, and his decision to leave that show. Now, if you missed the tea, here's the rundown. Funky Dineva has been a YouTube creator for, at least 10 years. Now, last year, Funky Dineva signed with Fox Soul. That's the online version of Fox TV to host an urban current affairs type show. He is co-hosting it with, or was co-hosting it with Al Reynolds, who is Star Jones' ex-husband, and Claudia Jordan, who is a former cast member of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, Fox Soul started out as just a YouTube channel, unlike most of us. Started out as a YouTube channel with Tea-GIF, that show being one of their shows that they posted. And it got a lot of great reviews and it got a lot of views. So then in the past few months, though, Fox Soul became a streaming channel. In fact, if you look up on your list of stations, you can see that Fox Soul is listed as a streaming channel. Now, apparently, because of its popularity, Fox decided to increase the number of days that Tea-GIF aired, which means more work that the co-hosts have to do. And they also, at the same time, now this is according to Funky Dineva, they wanted to decrease the amount of pay to the co-host. So Fox wanted to produce more shows and they wanted to cut the pay. And then they tried to justify it to the cast, according to the co-host, according to Funky Dineva. They said that, well, if you are working more, even though you're making less, it's still gonna be the same money. Now that's how they tried to sell their reason for cutting the pay. Now, since it basically was going to be more work for less pay, Funky Dineva decided to walk away. Now, since then, they've replaced Funky Dineva with somebody named Flame Monroe. So I'm going to show you this photo because you might know Flame Monroe. This is on the right side. So that's Al Reynolds on the left, Claudia Jordan in the middle, Flame Monroe on the right, and the show is Tea-GIF. You might have seen it. So yeah, that's the people that I'm talking about, and they replaced Funky Dineva with Flame Monroe. So now, how much did Funky Dineva walk away from? Well, according to Funky, he walked away from $250,000 a year. I'm assuming $250,000 that Fox Soul was paying Funky Dineva as a co-host on this show. And some people have called him unreasonable for doing that. Now, they're saying that he should have been grateful for $250,000. So my question to you is, how many of you would be willing to give up $250,000 as a gig that he was doing? They're all doing from their home. They're doing like me, sitting in front of their laptop, and they were being streamed in from wherever they were. So they didn't even have to go to the office. So that's what's up. Now, let's see. Laverne is saying, Dineva tells it straight. In fact, thank you. And I got my light in the way of the comments, so I had to look around it. But as a matter of fact, Laverne Adekunle out of Nashville is the one who actually introduced me to Funky Dineva's channel, because I'm a supporter. I'm a subscriber. So I watch his stuff a lot. And so she introduced me to his stuff, and a long time ago, and I've been watching ever since. So thank you for that comment, Laverne. Now, after a few days of thinking about this whole situation, I understand why some people would say that Funky Dineva is crazy for walking away. And I also understand his decision to walk away. And here's what we're going to talk about today. You see, Funky Dineva already had a YouTube channel with a lot of followers. In fact, I follow him, like I was saying, and he currently has, last check, 424,000 subscribers, and his posts get tons of views. So what does he talk about? Current event type stuff. He actually talks about the same stuff that they were talking about on the Fox Soul on Tea-GIF. It was like, except he did it on his own. But so it was kind of like he would do it and give his perspective on it. As a gay person, as a Black man, as just somebody who has life experience. So that's what Funky Dineva would do. And so so much so he was making, so I was talking about his channel. He was making a lot of money with his own YouTube channel, so much so that he quit his W-2 job a long time ago, because he talked about it in when he first started his channel. He was working a regular job like most of us and had a YouTube channel, and the YouTube channel took off and he started making more money, so much so that he was getting paid more on his YouTube channel than he was on his regular job. So he quit. But in my opinion, he slowed his roll in the last year or so. He slowed his roll on promoting his own channel and not posting as much, because he was trying to put more to be on point for Fox Soul, for that gig. Now, I don't know Funky Dineva personally, but just like I said, I watch I'm a subscriber. So I know that he was slowing down on posting because he wasn't posting as much. But you could turn on Tea-GIF and see him over there, and they were posting every day. The truth is that Fox Soul would not have wanted Funky Dineva as a co-host for their show Tea-GIF if Funky Dineva hadn't already had a huge following on his own YouTube channel, because that's how it works. They want somebody who's going to bring the numbers to their platform. It's much like when people build their own business and then they get noticed by somebody who has more money, and that person or that company that has more money convinces the person that had their own business, you should sell out to us, or you should let us partner with you in some way, which basically sell out to us. And so because we can do better and you can come work with us and we can, use your ideas. And so that's kind of like what was happening to Funky Dineva. When Funky Dineva realized that he can put in the same work on his own channel that he was putting in the same work that he was putting in over at Fox Soul, then, and get all the money basically, and not have to negotiate any money, but get all the money for himself, then I think that's when he realized that he was better off walking away from that $250,000 that they were trying to cut. Now, we don't know how much they wanted to cut, but essentially they were not wanting to pay him, and maybe they were going to keep it at 250,000, but wanted them to work more. So basically, you want me to work more, but for the same amount of money, which doesn't make sense to an employee. Okay, so it's the same also as when we tell these Black students that it's better for you to go to HBCU, historically Black college or university, and because instead of you going to a predominantly white university, because most people do that because they think the opportunity is better over there. They think, oh, I'm going to get the views over there if I'm smart athletically, or if I'm smart and I got a academic scholarship, my opportunities are better over there. That's what some of us think. And so we end up going to predominantly white universities thinking the ice is colder, the education is better, everything is better over there, when we are the show. We are the brain trust. We are the athlete. We are the smart person. So if you put in the same work over at the HBCU that you had planned to put over at the white university, the only difference in the equation is you at a different place. The opportunities are still going to be there for you. And that's what we try to tell Black students about what their academic scholastic choices should be about. So it's the same thing that happens when people believe that having a basic job with basic benefits at somebody else's business that is going to be left for their family as a legacy is going to be different than if you would just build your own and have a legacy for your family and your kids. Even if that legacy is that you can be the queen bee or the king bee, if you just work hard enough, you can have your own business, work your own business, and have a family business over here. You don't always have to be the worker bee over at somebody else's establishment. It's the same thing. So I don't think that people looked at it like that when they were criticizing Funky Dineva's decision, because they're looking at $250,000 when we know that some people are not built to run their own business. We know that. But some of us are. If we would just put the same work in and have the same work ethic for ourselves that we give to other people, we would get the same results. But we don't look at it like that. Now, when Funky Dineva realized this, that he could get the same money, if not more, by building his own channel, that's why he walked away. Okay, that's just where the bottom line is. And in fact, he said, Funky Dineva said that, you know what, I'm approved to everybody who might be criticizing me, that I can do this even and get more money over here on my own channel. What did he do? He started going live every day that he would have been working over there at the Foxo Tea-GIF show. He started going live on his own channel. And guess what, y'all? He was getting more views on his own channel than they were getting over there at Foxo, at Tea-GIF, that show that he used to be on. That's like David was beating Goliath. We look at Fox and think, oh, it's a big channel, it's a big streaming channel. Oh, I can never do better than them. But he proved it for this past week or two that he has been gone from that show, that if he put in the same effort, he can get better and more views. In fact, for him, it meant if I put in the same effort, I can make twice as much. So he's looking at $500,000 that he could have for himself by building his own YouTube channel than by accepting $250,000 from Fox. So it's that simple. It's that simple. And that's the math that he was looking at. Some of us are so conditioned to believe that we are destined for failure that we don't even try to succeed. And when our children and our other family members see us, they don't even try, because they think, oh, well, let me just go do what everybody else doing. Go over here, get this little job with this little benefits and 200, and let me be happy with $50,000 or whatever. Because here's the thing, $250,000 seems like a lot of money to walk away from until you realize, one, if they're willing to pay him $250,000, how much money does that mean that they are making off of him? That's one thing. And two, If you can make $500,000 doing it yourself with the same work ethic that you were making $250,000, then $250,000 you selling yourself short. So that's what he's been doing. And I don't know if you'll like his content or not. He's a funny person. He's a smart guy, and that's what drew me in to be a subscriber. So check out Funky Dineva. He does a lot of commentary, and so yeah. Now, I'm not just talking to you or preaching to you, because a lot of times, I don't think about myself when I'm doing these type of commentaries, but this message is just as much for me as it is for you. And here's why: because I have a business. I started a drone company in 2021. And as a matter of fact, Laverne Adekunle is on my board of directors. And so and I still have a W-2 job. So sometimes I have to get up at like 4 a.m. to be on point, to be in place for my W-2 job. And when I am off, I don't want to get up early. I want to sleep in. But what I have to do is tell myself, Steph, you can't be lazy on your time when you're trying to build your business. You got to be up and ready to roll, just like you up and ready to roll when it's time to work that W-2 job. And so I have to tell myself that, and that's my message to you. Whatever you're trying to do, you got to work just as hard for you and yours as you work for those other people over there. Ain't nothing wrong with having a job, until you realize it's cutting into the time and the money that you could be making for yourself and building something for yourself. And that would be the only, thing I would say. You gotta, and I'm at that point sometimes where I have to make a decision, or I will be having to make a decision. Is me working for someone else cutting into the time and effort that I could be putting towards building something for me and my family? And that's all I'm saying. So when you look at somebody like Funky Dineva, who understands his worth and what he brought to the table over there and what he can bring back to his table, that's why he was willing to walk away from $250,000, because he knows with the same effort and maybe a little more, he can make twice as much and not have to split the money. So that's the lesson that I want you to take from this. To find out more about the things that I care about, you can go to the written version of my journal. And you can also follow me on Twitter, IG, and Threads. And that's it. That's all I got for you. Have a great week ahead. See you next time.